It's that time of year, Merry Christmas to all, with gifts and a feast and the lights wall to wall. Each year we gather to share out our joy, the poor and the rich, and to each girl and boy. To all come together and mend up the rifts that have held love away with heartwarming gifts. There is, however, by small narrow chance that you'll get a gift to put souls in a trance. It will come bearing joy, a special surprise, but behind the facade is cruelty and lies. There is one source to take all the blame, a mystery to all, known only by name. The malevolent giver, the generous taker, that black-hearted demon, the old Merrymaker. Now we begin with our new dearest chum. Lucy's her name, and she's one busy mum. Preparing the house for this festive season, working alone for a frustrating reason. Receiving a call while searching for trees, her husband got stuck at his work overseas. He tried to get back so to not miss the date, but could not say when, leaving Lucy irate. Their 8-year-old girl was being quite good, parents are strange, and she understood. Preparing the house with daughter in tow, her name was Jess, you really should know. Enjoying the lights and decorations galore, their laughter was broken by a knock at the door. A warm season's greeting, Lucy bellowed with care, but when she opened the door, there was nobody there. Lucy looked all around, just scanning the street, but then caught a glimmer of light at her feet. A small metal box, but no owner in sight. Its presence was strange, this couldn't be right. Jess then appeared and scooped up the box. She was quiet, that one, and sly as a fox. "What is it, Mom?" Jess asked in confusion, but Lucy just shrugged at this gifted intrusion. "A wrong address, maybe? Well, that is a drag." Jess squealed with joy. She was holding a tag. Look, look, it's for me!" Jess jumping with glee. Lucy held out her hand. "Here, let me see." Jess passed up the tag and stared at her gift. Lucy saw Jess's grin, which made her heart lift. She looked at the note that her daughter had found. "To my dear little Jess, I'm with you in sound." Breaking the silence, there then came a song, a sweet subtle thing that wasn't too long. Lucy knelt down to hear out the tune. The box was well made and inscribed with a rune. But there in the middle, a woman in place, a dancer of sorts, but without a face. That's kinda creepy, Lucy thought a short while, but it was from her husband, and that made her smile. The two went inside, and Jess placed it neatly. "Can I keep it now?" she had asked so sweetly. Christmas is happy, not bitter and surly, and she had been so good, she could have this one early. The day carried on, Jess could not break away from the song of the box which continued to play. The sun had gone down and night had begun. The girls were both tired from a long day of fun. Lucy took Jess upstairs to her bed, that music still playing and filling her head. Now ready to sleep, Jess asked once more to open the box for the song she implored. Begrudgingly so, Lucy opened the fixture. She took out her phone and then took a picture. The music now playing, she kissed Jess goodnight. Then closing the door, she turned out the light. "Well, what a day, no rest for the weary," she messaged her husband with a curious query. Giving thanks for the gift, she asked him its source, but it was early for him, so she took a new course. She put up the photo online to her friends. She just had to know, no matter the ends. The house had gone quiet, there wasn't a peep, so Lucy lay down and then went to sleep. What a terrible night of horror it seems. It reached in her soul and corrupted her dreams. A voice in the dark, like a creature from hell, but what did it say? She just couldn't tell. A figure appeared, just over her staring. She could not see its face or what it was wearing. It then moved away to the light of the hall. She could make out its shape. It was slender and tall. She could make out a hat and a long narrow coat, but it was shrouded in dark with no features of note. Slowly raising its arms, her body did shake. It then started to sing, which shocked her awake. Lucy sat up in bed, just shaking in dread. She wiped a cold sweat with a hand from her head. She took a deep breath and looked to the door. In a moment of shock, her heart hit the floor. There stood her girl. It must have been Jess, her small silhouette and her hair in a mess. "Are you okay, hun?" Lucy asked with a worry. She reached for the lamp and the switch in a hurry. Flicking the switch, the light suddenly burst. Then the power went out, but we're far from the worst. Plunged into the dark was an unsettling scare. Lucy looked to the door. Jess was no longer there. From the side table came a flickering light, a message reply that chilled her with fright. "That's not from me," her husband decreed. She then noticed something she regretted indeed. She looked at the picture and felt oh so vile. On the face of the figure there had grown a wry smile. Uncertain and doubtful of the text from her spouse, there then came that music from deep in the house. Lucy stood up and made her way out. She called out for Jess in a worrisome shout. The music still played and danced off the walls. She then sorted out, this girl has some balls. With every hard step, she fought through the scares. When she stopped in her tracks, it was playing downstairs. Slowly she walked, doubt in her stride. She had a bad dream which embarrassed her pride. She reached the last step and continued to look for the musical box that left her so shook. She searched for a while, and there on the table, Lucy moved forward as fast as was able. It just sat there silent, and Lucy stood prone, but the box then let out a sickening drone. It reached in her mind, her heart and her soul. It made the room spin to swallow her whole. Lucy stepped back from the fear she was reeling. She didn't see Jess crawl up on the ceiling. Lucy fell to the floor from all the distress. She rolled to her back and met eyes with Jess. She tried to call out, but her words only failed. Jess started to groan, then suddenly wailed. This rattled the windows and banged at the locks, but immediately stopped with a series of knocks. There then came a voice, that one from before. It reached out from her dreams and was now at the door. Jess then dropped down and moved to the call. In a last-ditch attempt, Lucy started to crawl. With what strength she had that she dragged from her core, Lucy grabbed at the box, smashing it hard on the floor. In that moment of silence was where she could regain her voice and clear out her mind. But there in the quiet was an air that could kill. Lucy looked over to Jess, by the door standing still. Lucy dove towards Jess to protect her from harm. She held on to her girl with all strength in each arm. They sat there in silence, just shaking in fear. From the glass came a voice, "Maybe next year." Now, these two were okay, but there's something to learn, just in case you should think that it won't be your turn. Beware the Merrymaker, his cruel and evil ploy. He'll take away the children with every twisted toy. Good day, I'm John19 and thank you for listening. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. I hope that all is well with you, and if not, then I hope the next year can bring you all the joy you deserve. Thank you for joining me at the end of the video here. I hope you enjoyed hearing about Merrymaker. Certainly someone who makes getting things delivered less appealing. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then perhaps subscribe, leave a like, and if you're feeling particularly cheeky, maybe even a comment. I do hope that you'll join me again. Stay safe, sleep well, but remember, here we make monsters.